Hey everybody, it's Tracy from Downward Dog Rising, and I'm going to give you a core strengthening workout tonight. So if you want to strengthen your core, which will help give your low back stability, then join me and let's begin. Start on all fours, quadruped position, and then basically find your neutral spine. So front ribs need to meet back ribs. You could also do this by doing cat-cow. And this would be like doing 12 o'clock on your back, going into flat back on mat. And then here would be your stretch, your cow, your 6 o'clock, where your back arches and stretches. Chin down, tailbone down. Inhale, stretch head away from tailbone. Exhale, 4. Inhale, head away from tail, 3 more. Exhale, tighten your core. Inhale, stretch apart, head away from tail, 2 more. That's like 12 o'clock if you're lying on your back, 6 o'clock if you're lying on your back. Now, to find neutral, here's the arch, here's the sway back. We get rid of the arch to find our neutral. The tailbone elongates and it creates the space and the length through this part of the back. Your abdominals pull into your spine. So that's that part. Now, what I want you to do for the next part, your 2 hip points are going to be 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock on the face of a clock. 3 o'clock, 9 o'clock, straight all the way across. Then I want you to take your legs straight out behind you, making sure your hips are squared to the mat. Then you're going to take your opposite arm, and then you want to anchor your shoulder blade to back pocket. Hold it here. 5, 4, stay steady, 3, 2. Now tap your toes and tap your fingers to the mat. Exhale, breathing in. Exhale, 7. Create elongation out of your center, 6. 5, engage that glute. 4, 3 more. 2 more. Last one. Now we're going to keep that leg reaching long. We're going to do a set of tricep push-ups, Pilates push-ups. Shoulders down, back, away from your ears. Inhale, and then exhale, press back up. Keep your hips aligned. Inhale, exhale, shoulders out of ears. And 6, and 5, 4 more. 3 more. 2, engage those triceps. Come back in, lower your leg down. Now, you're going to extend. Make sure your hips stay squared, straight line across. Take that opposite arm out. Lift up your leg. Hold. Tighten your core in. Keep pelvis level steady. 5. Hold it here. Stretch apart. 4. 3. 2. Your toes tap down. And your fingertips. 9, 8, stretch apart. 7, 6, 5 more. Okay, now we're going to keep that leg reaching long behind us. Shoulders stay away from the ears. Create the length between rib cage, hip bones, because we don't want to hike either one of our hips up and lose our pelvic alignment. Bend those elbows, take it down, lift back up. Keep that leg reaching long behind you. Shoulders out of ears. Five, shoulders out of ears. Squeeze those triceps. 4. Reach that leg long behind you. Engage your glute. 3. 2 more. Last one. Place your knee on the mat. Again, create maximal length in your spine. Okay, one side is going to stretch together while the other one lengthens apart. So if you bring your left shoulder and your left hip closer to one side, so you're just looking over your shoulder. The other side of your ribs pulls open and apart. Inhale, exhale. Feel the other side lengthen. Come back to your center. Head away from tailbone. Abdominals lift into spine. Okay, now you're just going to bring your other shoulder, your other hip closer together. Get this side to stretch long. Rib out of hip. Making sure you don't hike either hip up. Head away from tailbone. One more each way. Your hip and your shoulder come closer together. Your hip actually will lift a little bit on this one. Bring it back down, and then you're going to bring your hip and your shoulder a little closer together. We just want to pull our ribs apart. Be conscious and aware of the side of your body lengthening and opening. Come back to center. Okay, now this next one, keep your 2 hip points facing straight to the floor. And you're just going to go like this. You're going to twist. Think of turning, twisting from your navel. Keep your hip points to the ground. Come back in. 4 more. Twist. Pull your shoulder away from your ear. 3 more. Twist. Hips are straight to your mat. 2 more. Twist. And 1 more time. Twist. Open. Come back down. Keep those 2 hip points straight to your mat. Now twist the other way. Come back in. Keep lengthened spine. Twist. Try to inhale. Expand your ribs laterally. Exhale. 3 more. Inhale. Exhale. Come back. 2 more. Breathing in. Exhale. Back. 1 more. Breathing in. Exhale. Come back. Good. So if you have any wrist issues and you always feel weight sinking into them, there's a reason for that. You're not stabilized through your shoulder girdle and your back. So if you ever get that pressure in your wrist when you do computer stuff, think of pressing your shoulder blades apart. Open them to the sky so that blades move away from the center of your spine. And then you just let the sternum, your breastbone, it lifts up away from the mat. Then let your breastbone come back to the mat. When you do that, you should feel something go under each one of your shoulder blades in your back for support and stability. Also have your fingers wide open like that. And then it's almost like you're pressing from here, side of upper ribs. Your serratus anterior is around in here. We want to wrap under the blades. So then what you can do, anchor shoulders, shoulder blades to back pockets, shoulders away from your ears. You're going to come down to your forearms. Sides of neck are long, so make sure you don't shrug. You don't want to do that with your shoulders because that will hurt your neck and your shoulders later. So avoid that. Instead, keep the length. Drop your shoulders out of your ears. Take your forearms to the mat. Curl your toes underneath. And then take your hips down. So you don't want your hips being higher than your shoulders like that. Pull them down. And really scoop your abdominals into your back. So the whole time, the 2 hip points, pull tighter across. Hold it there. And you just keep lifting your abdominals into your spine. Inhale, exhale. 5, inhale, exhale. 4, keep the length in your back so there's no divot in the middle of your back. 2, last one. Now, when your knees come down, you're going to take the tops of your feet, sit straight back, hips over heels. If you had a knee issue, sometimes I do, you could put like a little block like that between your feet and your pelvis and give a little cushiony space so that it doesn't directly go deeper into the knee. That keeps you from going back too far. We're going to do one more set in a modified plank. Keep your hips level under your shoulders. Come out of your rest pose. Forearms on mat. Curl the toes under. Now tap one knee down, lift it up. Other knee, lift it up. Make sure you don't arch your low back. Front ribs meet back ribs. Keep your neutral spine. 7. Shoulders out of ears. Sides and neck long. 6. Keep the length in your back. Length. 5. 4, core tightens in, and 3, 2, good, last one. Drop the knees, take it back again, release your back. Take a deep inhale right across low back. One more. Inhale, exhale. Good. Now, stack one knee over the other. Your ankles, your knees, everything's going to stack. Careful you don't go like that. You don't want to collapse and bother your neck. Sides and neck stay long. Now, lift those bottom ribs. If you have any scoliosis, your ribs will twist sideways. Your shoulders can also twist out of alignment. So just be conscious of your body's placement. Those ribs pull up. Collarbones are far and wide across. Careful not to let your shoulder hike up or rotate inward. Then what I want you to do, it's like you're going to create like a sling under your hip, under your rib cage. And then I want you to keep your legs stacked, your legs reach long. Careful that this top hip doesn't fall forward or back. Then I just want you to take it straight up into the air. Try to pull your ribs back and just lift those bottom hip, the bottom ribs, lift up and just hold it here. You're going to feel like a little wrapping this way. We want your obliques to engage. Breathing in, exhale. Keep shoulders away from ears. Keep the length in the sides of your neck. You just want to start feeling those muscles engage, giving you support. Gently come in. We're going to do that on the other side. So first set isn't going to be very long. Shoulder down and back away from ear. Now notice if you twist, notice if your ribs twist, shoulders down and back, collarbones wide, neck is long, your legs are stacked. Now take it up. You'll notice if you have a weaker side, shoulders drop, those bottom ribs lift. You might have a harder time balancing on the side that's weaker. Drop your tailbone, space between ribs and hips. Notice what rib cage is doing. Breathe. Let those bottom ribs keep lifting up off mat. Bottom hip lifts off mat. Try to stack your ribs so they don't twist. Breathing in, breathing out. Chest is open. Lift those bottom ribs. Gently come back down. All right. So those are your obliques. And then what I want you to feel when you work your obliques, they feel like they start wrapping all the way around you. When you can get that rib cage connection, you'll have a better time maintaining a stable pelvis where your pelvis doesn't fall out of alignment. So next one, take bottom knee bends, top leg straightens out. And again, you might have to adjust your rib cage so you don't twist. Keep chest open, collarbones in alignment. Careful your shoulder doesn't hike up. And then what you do, you're just going to take your top leg up into the air. And again, ribs straight. Your leg lifts, hand behind head and neck. I want you to do 2 kicks. Flex your foot twice to the front. Inhale, swing your leg back. Now, when you do this, make maximal length between rib cage, hip bones. Exhale, exhale. Inhale, reach your leg back. Inhale, back. Exhale. Inhale, space between ribs and hips. 8, flex for 2. Point as you go back. 7. Inhale back and 6, space between ribs and hips. 5. 4. Keep those hips stable. 3. Inhale back. 2. Inhale back. 1 more. Inhale back. Now, take your top foot, press hips forward, and get a little stretch in the front of your hip flexor and quad. Stretch that leg back. Good. Gently release. Then we're going to come all the way up. Switch. Take the other leg down. Align. And again, shoulders need to be open in the same plane. Sides and neck long. Bottom ribs lift. Those ribs face straight ahead. You don't want to twist or rotate your pelvis. Take one hand behind head and neck. The other leg is going to lift up into the air. Now really stretch ribs and hips apart. Then we're going to do kick, kick. Let's see. I got to maneuver. Exhale, exhale, flex for 2. Inhale, back. Exhale for 2. Inhale, take it back. Ribs out of hips. Inhale, chest is open. Flex for 2. Inhale, point. Try to keep ribs stacked over hip bones. 6 more. Kick, kick. Inhale, take it back. 5. Inhale, back. 4. Back for 1. 3. Back for 1. 2. Back for 1. Last one. Take it back. All right. Now we're going to take it down to our mat. Now this set, you're just going to come right up to your forearm. You're on the side of your hip and thigh. Take your legs straight out. Careful not to lose the bottom ribs. Point. Flex. Straighten your rib cage. It's easy to lose your alignment. It could happen at any time. Bottom ribs lift. Inhale. Exhale. Try to maintain a straight line across those 2 hip bones. Sides and neck are long. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Open those side lines. Careful not to collapse your bottom ribs. 5. Chest is open. 4. 3. 2. Sides of waist long. Okay, those bottom ribs lift. Lengthen out of your center. Think of scooping into here, a little zipper up. Then you lift up your top heel. Bend, point, slide along bottom leg. Exhale, inhale. Wrap those ribs. This way's a little harder. Really squeeze that outer hip and thigh. 6 more without collapsing your bottom ribs down. That's a challenge. 5. Woo! Get that side of your hip to fire. 4. Knee is over second toe. 3. 2 more. The body will want to cheat. Try to maintain correct, precise form. Last one. Wah! All right. Now we're going to take, I forgot to stretch your quad on the other side. Come back up real quick. Just take that leg back after that first set we did before. Stretch out your quad. Front of hip, tailbone long. All right. So after those kicks, what I want you to do this time, just pull under the kneecap. Pull it towards your shoulder for a moment. Feel that glute release. Breathe in, breathe out without losing your bottom ribs. Now we're going to stack our knees and our ankles for a second. Knees and ankles are stacked. Okay, you're going to grab your ankles. Basically, you're going to stretch this side, also the other side, but lift to the top of your head. Drop your shoulder down and back. Gently reach to opposite ear and try to lean in towards your ankles as you rise up through your spine, opening the sides of your waistline. A little traditional mermaid hold. Inhale, exhale, open up that area under the armpit all the way down to the side of your ribs, all the way, ribs out of hip. Inhale, exhale. Slowly come back up. Gonna take it to the other side. Okay, this is the passes where you're on your bottom elbow. Careful you don't collapse down into it. Remember, you gotta keep bottom ribs up. You gotta integrate ribs with the front of your hips. You gotta keep shoulders down, back away from your ears. And you gotta make sure you keep neck long. So we wanna have elongation and length in Pilates. We don't wanna lose and compress gravity and everyday forces of gravity pushing down on us every single day, every day of our life, that gives us enough compression already. So when we do Pilates, we have to think of tightening our core, lengthening one way out of your core, lengthening the opposite way out of your core. It's your oppositional lengthening. So if that explains how you do it, you draw inward, elongate away in two different directions. Collarbones wide. Now make sure you don't collapse those bottom ribs. Very easy to do. You're going to point and then flex. Squeeze the outside of your hip and thigh. Keep the hip points aligned. You might have to every now and then adjust your rib cage so your rib cage stays integrated to the front of your hip bones so you don't twist. Like if there's scoliosis, there's going to be a twist somewhere. Breathing in, exhale, control it. Squeeze side of hip and thigh. Breathing in, exhale. 6 more, control. Sides of waist are long. 5, 4, breathing in. 3, sides of waist are long. 2. All right. Hold here. Feel those muscles here. To reverse it, you're going to lengthen out of your center. Reach the heel to the sky. Point the toes. Go along that bottom leg. This one's always harder. Really go into the outside of that hip and thigh. Lift those bottom ribs without losing your shoulder. Keep shoulder and ear apart. 7. Keep the length. 6. Everything is just elongating out of your center. 5. 4. Squeeze that outside of your hip and thigh. Point and flex. 3. Point and flex. Keep those bottom ribs off the mat. 2. Point and flex. Keep decompressing. Good. Last one. Excellent. We already did the quad stretch on the other side, so just go ahead and pull your knee towards your armpit on this one. Just get that hip to release for a moment. Breathing in, breathing out. So, I'll strengthen your back. Gently release. So we're going to come on to our abdominals. And then if you could take your hands under your chin, both elbows bend, your legs press down into the mat, tops of feet stay down. You don't have to lift your legs up. So your elbows go wide. And then you're just going to lower down. And it's not about the height. It's about using your deep abdominals, pulling tight to your backbone, keeping your hip points firm on mat, and then lower down. Tighten your core to your back and come back down. Core tightens into your spine. Lift, come back down. 7, elbows bend, come back down. 6, abdominals keep scooping into your back. 5. This is great for osteoporosis, to make your spine go the opposite way, strengthening your back. 4, 3 more, scoop in. 2 more. Tops of feet are on the mat. Last one. Good. Now, place one elbow on the mat. You're going to keep your hip points straight into the mat and just do a small little rotation from the center part of your back. 3 more. Collarbone opens wide. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Come back. 1 more. Bring the other forearm to the mat. Lift up. Hip points stay down. Inhale. Collarbone wide. Exhale. 3 more. Inhale. Little extension rotation. 2. Collarbone wide. Last one. Inhale. Exhale. Awesome. Okay. Next exercise, I'm going to have you push up to your forearms. We do this in yoga, Sphinx, and basically we're not going to do that here. We're just coming up into the same position. Maybe you'll clasp your hands together, drop your shoulders out of your ears, keep your hip points firm on the mat. So we don't want the hips rocking and rolling around like that. Hip points push down. Lengthen navel away from pubic bone so your entire pelvis is secure, firm on the mat. Now, your ribs pull apart in front. They stretch apart. you're actually gonna flex your foot in. Woo, I might get a cramp on the back of my thigh. Flex, point, really squeeze the back of your upper thigh. Lower the leg down, keep your pelvis stable. So it's gonna go flex and point while you open shoulders, chest. Exhale, inhale, down. Exhale, in, ooh, I'm getting a cramp. Exhale, inhale, so it's like a fast twitch muscle fiber sequence. Ooh, and I'm getting a cramp. I gotta go more into the left gluteals. Exhale, inhale, down. Exhale, inhale, down. I can feel right gluteals working harder than left, and that left hamstring's really going strong. Down. Exhale, inhale, down. Keep your pelvis as still and stable. Modified would look like that. You don't have to bend in as far as I am. Control. Control. Down. Down. Head away from toe. Down. Exhale, inhale, down. Exhale, inhale, down. 3 more. Exhale, inhale, down. Last set. And down. Awesome. You'd either wiggle your hips side to side, release your spine. Take your hands under your shoulders. Press all the way up to hip, hands and knees. And then you could always go back into a rest pose here. Just sit back, hips over heels. You could rest your forehead on the mat. You can reach through fingertips, armpits to palms. Get a nice stretch. Now pull your breastbone, your sternum, pull it through that way. Feel the length. Inhale and then exhale. One more. Deep inhale and then exhale. Awesome. So from here, what I want you to do, thread the needle. So maximal length. Here's arch back. Front ribs meet back ribs. Find your neutral spine. Thread the needle. Twist from your navel or in between your blades. Open your shoulder, chest. Drop that shoulder out of your ear. Now you're going to swing under. Twist. Shoulder, side of neck on the mat. Take this arm, as long as it doesn't hurt your shoulder, and extend over your head. And just enjoy the stretch for a moment. Expand ribs laterally. Inhale, exhale. 2 more. Inhale, exhale. There's ways to stretch your neck where you could look the opposite way, but I'm going to choose not to do that right now. It's a little more advanced. Just keep it where it's at. Come up. Hands and knees. Reestablish your neutral. Keep the length right there. Turn from the area between your blades or your navel. Open, shoulder, chest. Drop shoulder out of ear. Now you're going to twist under that side. Come all the way down. Side and neck is on the mat. Side of shoulders on the mat. As long as it's okay for your shoulder, it doesn't float into your ear, you could extend your arm overhead this way. And just breathe. Yeah, you could turn your head, look the other way, but it's a lot more difficult on the neck, so let's not do it that way. Let's just get a stretch here. Side of neck, shoulders out of ears. Little thread the needle. Breathe in. Let your ribs expand sideways. Inhale, exhale. And one more time, breathe in. And then exhale. Gently come up. Take your feet, bring them through. So your legs lengthen out in front of you. And then I'm going to have you take your feet the width of the mat. Take your arms straight out. Pull your abdominals tight to your backbone. And then what I want you to do here, create elongation, 2 twists. Keep your hips level, stable. 2 twists. Equal weight through each sits bone. Reach, twist, twist. Inhale to the middle. Maximize the length here. Rise up. Inhale, keep the wrists straight. Inhale, rise up through top of head. 4 more. Inhale. 3, 2. Good, last one. Keep that elongation. Shake out your knees. So, last thing we're going to do, we're just going to hug our legs in. Bring the soles of your feet together. Float your knees up. Bring your knees back down. Eventually, you could go like this. Rotate bottoms of feet to sky. Lift up, lower down, lift up, lower down. 2 more. Lift and down, lift and down. Now just imagine your knees are floating in the air. Knees are floating. Keep lengthening up. And then a little stretch forward. Want our hips to open up a little bit. Breathing in and breathing out. So we did a core back strengthening today. Feel those inner thighs release. Gently come up, come into Sukhasana. The only difference, you just cross the ankles. Once you cross your ankles, you're just going to take one hand to your opposite knee, rise up, do a little twist to one side. Come back center, keep sits bones grounded, hand to opposite knee, do a little twist to the other side. Sides of ribs expand, come back center. Just going to reach those arms to the sky. Hands center. Hands to heart. Thanks for joining me and doing some Pilates for spinal stability, pelvic stability, as we strengthen our core, strengthen our back, and just keep working on developing that awareness from the inside out to create that length so you're spatially aware of your body and your surroundings. It all makes a huge difference. I thank you very much. Appreciate you. If you like my content, please hit like or subscribe, and I'll bring you some new content soon. Have a great rest of your day or evening. Peace. Bye, everybody. Take care.